can't stay long, so let's go ahead and get this out the way. This channel message is actually from yesterday, but you know, here we go. So, first of all, you don't have to acknowledge them. You, okay, anyone that chooses to go against the system, anyone who chooses to take their own path, and when I say own path, I mean whatever was implanted on your soul when you know, incarnated. That's your path that you're supposed to take, not the traditional. You know, you do this because everybody else did it. Blah blah blah. Okay, anybody who does this, though, who deviates from the traditions, anybody who chooses to take a path that is all their own, you are probably going to be targeted. Okay, you're probably always going to have a target on your back if you choose to do what the opposite of if you choose to do the opposite of what mainstream society is doing. Okay, but the reason why it's significant for you to know that you're going to be targeted, so then it's like you can be prepared. It's you shouldn't be alarmed at what's happening, and you shouldn't feel enraged or uneasy or paranoid. Okay, and paranoia is one of the main ways that they try to make you feel uneasy about what it is that you're doing. That's a projection. You don't have anything to be paranoid about because there's nothing to fear. Okay, you have, I don't know if you actually did like the water for your quantum leap, or you've just been reprogramming your mind. But in any event, you have successfully quantum leaped. Okay, you done hopped into your preferred reality, and now you have to remember that in order to maintain it, you have to maintain the mindset, the thinking. Okay, to stay in your preferred reality, you can't let any outside influences pierce your reality. Okay, so you have to always be in control. And again, if you have chosen to leap into your own reality, whilst walking your own path, a path that is separate from mainstream society, you have to understand that the targeting comes along with that. But as long as you remember that this is your reality, you're creating it, you don't have to acknowledge what's happening on the outside. Because that's where you give people on the outside power in the first place. You acknowledge people, you make them feel like they have some type of power over you. Okay, and I'll say it like this: you can look at somebody, you can whatever, you know what I'm saying. I rolled my neck at one the other day, but like also, it's not that deep for me. It was that deep for me at first, but that was when I was first quantum leaping, and I was shook because I didn't experience anything like that before. But because I've experienced it and I've, you know, came out on the other side, it's like I'm an expert at dealing with these clowns. So, point being is don't acknowledge them, stay focused on your preferred reality, okay? Um, my recommendation is that you don't give them any reaction at all. If you witness somebody that is one of the watchers, okay, that's what I like to call them, the watchers. If you witness a watcher watching you, following you, whatever the case, let them. Who gives a fuck? You know, you're gonna be observed while you're out and about anyway. So do it, and do it with pride. Actually, don't dim your light in any way, shape, or form. What I realize about, you know, human behavior is a lot of what we experience on a day-to-day basis when it comes to people trying to minimize us and people trying to dim our light is because they're naturally built like that, this competitive energy as to, you know, well, I was told that we have to behave like this. So if you're trying to behave as if you're holier than thou, or as if you're better than, anyone else, then I'm going to try to make you feel some type of way. Whole time, everyone should be walking around with pride. Everyone should be walking around feeling bright and gleamy. Everyone should be wanting to immerse the world in light. Those who don't want that, those who feel ashamed or feel insecure, let them do that, but don't give them the power of having any, influence in your world, okay? Again, you are in your preferred reality. Everything is working in your favor right now. And yes, it may feel kind of like you got the cheat code. It may feel kind of like you have access something that you're not supposed to access, but that's not true, or you wouldn't have been able to access it in the first place. What you have access to now, the esoteric wisdom that you have been implanted with now, is because you've made it to that tier, to that frequency where you have access to all of this hidden information, right? You're not going to abuse the information. That's why you were granted access to the information, period. Okay. um what else? Keep records of any incidents that do happen, though. Stay aware of everything that is happening around you. Like, you always have to be aware of your surroundings while also not being impacted by your surroundings. Does that make sense? And this is necessary for some people in particular, because there could be something coming up in terms of like cases and all that. Okay. Also, cameras. If you aren't already doing this, you need to be recording everything, documenting everything. So writing down, any incidents, but also capturing everything in 4K, okay, or whatever, okay, whatever, quality camera. Make sure that you are getting devices that don't actually, have to be. It doesn't have to be a cell phone device, okay. Get something that you can attach to your body parts so it can capture the front, back, and sides, okay? Like, don't think for a second that people don't have devices and technology where they're trying to exploit you. So the best defense to not being exploited is to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, and make sure that anybody that is violating your rights, you're capturing it on camera, but you're also not being sidetracked by focusing on, oh my gosh, everyone's focusing on me. Because when this shit was happening to me in LA, that was my main um, pain point. It's like, why does people keep, like, what, who am I supposed to be the reason why y'all so focused on me? Like, it was so irritating because I didn't get it. I felt like I was out of the loop, but then I realized that's the point. But the point is, you wouldn't focus on these people if they paid you, because there's nothing to focus on, because people that have all this time and opportunity to make you the center of their world, they ain't got shit going on. You feel me? Exactly. Now, I only got a few more minutes because I'm today's gonna be a busy day for me. My spirit guides are on my ass right now. They're like, listen, in order to bring this thing to fruition, you can't stop until it's there, okay? And I'm so grateful for, listen, I'm just grateful for all of the support that I got in the spirit realm and here on earth. Okay, so the last thing that I will say, you need an incantation, okay? You need something, a protection spell, a protection phrase, a protection ritual, whatever it is, that's for you. For some of you, you may need to get a talisman, okay? Something that is going to be your form of defense when you are out and about, okay, in the world, okay. So there's something about you, for instance, for you, it could be a tattoo, okay. You can tattoo a sigil on you, all right. That's, for me, that's my favorite form of protection. Like, if you want to ensure that something is permanent, you can draw a sigil in a candle or on a piece of paper or whatever, right? But like, imagine how much more powerful and amplified that shit is if you tattoo it on your body. Okay, your focus must remain on your mission. Everybody has a different mission, and by now you know what your mission is, or you wouldn't have quantum leaped into this new reality in the first place. Now it's like you're a master at this thing, in the sense that you can show other people how to do it, okay. So it's like, you do recognize that you are a student and you're learning, but now spirit wants you to take whatever you've learned that can actually help other people get free, share that with those individuals, okay? And you know who that is, and you know how it is for you, because it's going to be different for everybody. Last thing, or semi last thing, reclaim your land. Now, this is for the indigenous folks. You see how to take a breath because I know what I'm saying is reclaim your land. I'm actively working on a kind of like a just like a info sheet, okay, that has resources and information as to what steps I'm taking in terms of reclaiming land, and in terms of acquiring land, right, and in terms of sovereignty as well. I want to show you the different steps in order to truly get free, and in order to truly have ownership, so you can stop asking everybody else for access. You know, the wealth hoarders are the worst of them all, because they got as much as they need and then some, and they still refuse to share it with the people who clearly have never had an advantage. And so I feel, instead of worrying about how they're hoarding the wealth, recognize that wealth is not conducive to just what they have, and let's go out and build our own. Okay. If you are the what did I say? If you are the oldest sibling in your family, okay, if you have siblings and you're the oldest, this specifically is for you. There, you may not. Okay, how who I'm talking to individuals who are the lone wolves, who are the black sheeps of their family. So you're not going to. My bad. You're not going to recognize, well, it's not that you're not recognizing, you don't want to carry on the legacy of what came before you. But here's what I will say. That's okay. I completely get it. I completely, I know you're justified in what you want. But you do have access to certain things that will give you privileges that you need, and that can give you access that you need. So I would say use the fact that you come from a particular bloodline to your advantage, without feeling obligated to serve the people who you were born into a family with. Okay. Um, build your own economy. Okay. This is a lot of the stuff that we're talking about at House of Wolf. We're talking about revenue share. We're talking about equity. We're talking about how to, create an economy where everybody can thrive. You know, this is specifically geared to artists and creatives, since that's my world, obviously. But I feel like all people should have this, and that's why other people should be organizing things that are similar to this, so that people can get what they deserve. You know, no more waiting for them to get to a particular point, or going through a particular system in order to have the things that they need, because either way there's always going to be limitation, because ultimately they don't want you to be surpassing them. Okay. um your position now and where you're at now is like, this is your world. You have to look at it as such. Yes, other worlds are happening without or around you. Other realities are being shaped around you by way of every individual that is here. But the reality you need to focus on is the one that's going to basically create that access, and create the ability for you to bring people inside that you can collaborate with, etc., etc. Okay. So that's it. That's the message. I got to go. I hope that you are well in your mind, body, and your soul. And I'll chat soon. Okay. Ciao.